Hi guys, Anel Tunes here again from African Mixmaster. I'm a professional mixing and mastering engineer. In these episodes, we are looking at how to mix African music in order to get that pro sound but without losing the African touch. And today we are going to look at the delay. Let's dive right into it. I'm going to be using the Super Tap delay by Waves, but still you can use any other delay that you have. Why I love this delay, it's because it's very handy. It gives me a lot of options to use without including any other plugins. So what is the work of delay? The work of a delay is to give the vocal more width and depth within the mix. I also find something unique about the delay. To me, I feel like it gives some space between the vocal and every other instrument in the mix. There's a way it brings it out and it stands on top. That's in combination with the reverb. So I love the delay on my vocals that Steve Need calls for. Let me take you through the parameters of this delay so we know exactly what we're dealing with. On this delay, we have this section here, which is the stereo field, and this one here is one voice, and this is another voice. So what this particular delay does, it gives us two copies of the lead voice. Remember, I insert the delay on the aux track and send a bus to the lead voice. So it's not directly on the channel of the voice. So I only send a signal of the delay. I only send the effect to the voice. These are the voices made by the delay, copied by the delay. So I turned off the center voice simply because the delay is not inserted directly on the channel. But if it was, I would leave this particular voice here, or the center voice. So now it's off, so the source is not on this particular channel. And then when I go on here, these are the switches that turn off the copied voices. And if I go down here, we have what we call the feedback. Feedback is the repetition of the delay effect itself. So let's listen to this song where we left off with reverb and then apply the delay. This is how it sounds like. Right there. And now, if I overdo the effect, the delay effect, if I do it a lot so we hear its effect, it sounds like this. That is if I overdo it. Now, let's first hear the effect of the feedback. So if I turn off the feedback here, for example, and we listen. So the delays just repeat themselves. Like the delay comes in the left and the delay comes in the right, and nothing more really takes place. But what the feedback does, it copies again the delay and gives it to you back again. It comes as an echo. So let's listen with the feedback on, and too much of it, say like 70. You hear that effect? That is like they happen like the tails. So that is the work of the feedback. What the feedback helps, it helps the delays not to be so dry, so they can easily sink in and flow with the music. So if we continue, we have what we call here the grid. The grid is this one here, so you can select which kind of grid. Either the delay and the feedbacks here move on the grid on the snaps of, for example, we have eighths here, they move on eighth notes. You could put 16 notes, you could put quarters, depending on what you want. So it's better if you apply these grid snaps here, and then you play around with these and find where you want it to be, where it sounds good for you. Okay, so you can basically master this by using them. Okay, so we go on here, we have here another section here, which is the EQ. So I can easily turn off the EQ here or turn it on. Now, some delays don't have EQ, but you can apply an EQ after the delay on the channel of the delay itself. So you see here we have a low pass filter here, and I cut off all the highs. Anything above 2K is cut off. Anything above 3K here on the left voice has also been cut off. This helps like to get rid of the sibilances. I don't want the delay to have sibilances. I don't want S's in the background moving here and there. simply because they'll be so obvious and they'll take the attention of the center vocal. So we need the lead voice to have its own attention and nothing else to distract. Everything is a supporting factor, is a supporting act in a mix. So that's why I had to roll them off, and you hear they are like. So it gets they get kind of sunk in within the music. Also here we have the sync button here. You could sync it to the tempo, or if you want something different, you may do it manually and feed in the tempo here. And it sits in very well. So I'll do the tempo here. So we have the snap pad here. The snap pad helps move these the delays here, these voices here. Remember, we have two voices. We have the first and the second voice. So we see the second voice is delayed a little bit, and the first voice is kind of in front. This is to get what we call the ping pong effect. Like, you want to hear these delays on different times in order to get that width, that kind of stereo field, to play in the stereo field so well, to feel like the voice is wider. Okay? So that's why we use the snap here. So you can, depending on what you're dealing with, you can always play with it. For example, I'll play with it here. You see, when you listen. The delay on the right side comes a little bit much more later than the one on the first side. So it's up to you to play it, twist it to your taste till you feel like, yeah, it sounds better for you, and please go with that. So I'll go with this particular one here, and that's how you play with it. But this is a stereo delay. There are mono delays that only have one voice and only repeat that. But this one is a stereo delay, so it plays with two voices. It makes two copies of the lead voice and plays with those particular voices. It delays one, and also the feedback comes differently. Feel free to use them. So let's try to put it to test in our music. That's it too much, so if I begin pulling it down to test. For me, that sounds good. I don't want these delays to really be so obvious. I just want them to be sunk within the music, but I want them to support the lead vocal to come on top, to get that little feeling of the widening effect that comes with it, and to give it the lead vocal kind of some depth. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here, and I feel right about there, it's just enough. If I listen, sounds amazing. So feel free to try out the skills on your own vocals. Play with the delay, play with the snaps here to get what you want. Of course, depending on the tempo of the song, it will call for different snap points. Okay, you can use 16th notes, you can use quarter notes, and there are other very many ways, advanced ways of using this delay to get those super effects, that supersonic effects. We shall be looking at that in later tutorials, but now I'm showing you the basic way of how to use a delay on your vocals and get a mix done so quickly. Feel free to email me at africanmixmaster@gmail.com. Send me your mixes that you're working on so I can give you some expert opinion and feedback on your mixes. Or if you want to mix a song, feel free again to contact me on the same email, which is africanmixmaster@gmail.com. Or you can also find me on my Facebook page, which is Facebook at African Mix Master. Comment on the video below also, don't forget that. Let's work together to see that we get our African sound very pro but still remaining African. Anil Tunes here from African Mix Master, a professional mixing and mastering engineer. See you in our next episode.